Hi, Alex. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm so excited to talk to you today. Was there anything that stuck out to you as like a favorite memory, maybe from when you were a student?
Oh, so many good memories. So when I was a sophomore, when I first transferred in, I was in musical, which was Beauty and the Beast, and I was Belle, and it was a great memory just to be in it. But I think my favorite memory was sort of the aftermath of it, just because it's K through 12. All the young kids, like the lower schoolers, just like loved me and they thought of me as Belle. And I ended up getting a lot of like babysitting gigs out of it. And so much so that like there were families that I still am super close with and their kids are like out of college now. Like it's crazy, but I've stayed so close with these families and these like lifelong bonds from, being Belle and Beauty and the Beast, which is so fun.
That's so sweet. What was your favorite cafeteria food when you were at North Shore?
Probably the pasta bar.
Love it. A favorite interim that you did?
Oh, I had a really good interim my sophomore year. We went to Germany with the choir, and we did a whole program on like Holocaust music, and we performed at different like museums and schools in Germany, and we went and visited Holocaust concentration camps and learned a ton. It was amazing.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Favorite school events?
I would say homecoming. I feel like that's just a classic, like really good one at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Hard to beat homecoming.
Yeah.
So obviously you came from New Trier. That's a big switch, especially to switch halfway through your high school experience or partway through at least. What drew you to North Shore? What put it on your radar and what kind of helped you make that decision?
Yeah. So my experience was probably unique from a lot of people because my parents actually sort of enrolled for me and sort of pushed me to go to North Shore more than I wanted to. So it wasn't the smoothest transition. I didn't go super willingly. However, the biggest reason for the transfer was because at New Trier, I was just a number. Like when I was struggling, whether it was with school or whatever, the administration didn't know who I was. Like I was just number 685. And so my parents struggled with that. I actually have a twin sister and she went to Woodlands Academy.
Sister went there.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's so funny. So they saw like twins having totally different experiences. One at a small environment, one in a larger school. And that was really why they pushed for that. So I didn't go super willingly. However, I remember my first week at North Shore. It was obviously in the fall. I was playing tennis. It was one of those like beautiful fall days. And there was a soccer game going on. And Tom Dorr, who was the head of school at the time, he was like walking around and I met him and introduced myself to him. And I just remember feeling in that moment that like a week in, it was right. Even though I had not wanted to make that change, it was the right place for me. All of a sudden I was meeting the head of school. I had never done that at New Trier. And just the community feel of being around all of those different sports teams, there was just something really special and magical about it. So
totally. I think you can really feel it. And sometimes just when you know it's right, you just know it's right.
Exactly.
Given that, what advice would you maybe give to high schoolers at North Shore now or incoming high schoolers that are about to go through this process?
Such a good question. I think the biggest thing I would say is like take advantage of that small community feel and try to get involved in as many different things as you can, try different things because you're in high school and it's a time in your life when you should be trying different things. You don't have to be the best to try something. It's still those exploratory years. So I think that would probably be my biggest piece of advice.
I think that's a really good piece of advice. I completely agree.
Yeah.
How do you feel like the college process was for you? I know that's a big part of being a high schooler. How did you feel like that process went for you and where did you end up? How did that turn out for you?
Yeah. So actually the college process was amazing. I got really into it. And certainly because of my experience at North Shore, I was looking at very different colleges than probably I would have before coming to North Shore. Because I really loved the small environment and that's something I wanted going to college. But funny story. So Sarah Mills was my advisor, and she was one of the college counselors when I was at North Shore. And she had done a college visit, visiting a bunch of schools in the Northeast. And she came back, and one day she told me, she's like, Alex, I went to this college. I hadn't really spent a lot of time there, Hamilton College. It's in upstate New York. And I saw this a cappella group performing. It was like an all male a cappella group. And she's like, I could totally see you like falling for one of these guys. She told me this. And I was like, that's so funny. So anyways, I ended up going to Hamilton,
Right.
which I applied early decision after visiting and looking at a bunch of schools. And I am married to one of those a cappella guys.
Stop.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? That's so sweet. She literally was
my
like,
God.
yeah, I did a cappella in college and I married one of those.
I love that.
guys.
I just feel like if that doesn't speak to how the teachers know you. Future husband. That's incredible. Oh my gosh. I love that.
This has been so fun. I have some questions for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. What are you going to miss most? You're leaving North Shore. What are you going to miss?
I think what I'm going to miss most is definitely like the familiarity. I think you really touched on the community aspect of it, and I've come to really appreciate it. I think my grade and the upper school as a whole has become a very familiar and good community for me, for lack of a better word. I just think having people that are by your side, like the teachers especially, I think I've had a great experience with my teachers helping me throughout my high school experience. And so I think leaving that behind is definitely hard.
Yeah, I completely understand. Hopefully you'll have a great experience in college too.
Yeah, I am excited for it.
Yeah,
sure.
It'll be great. So in terms of your experience at North Shore, what are some of your favorite memories?
That's a good question. I think it's hard to just choose one, but I would definitely say what comes to mind is playing on the volleyball team. I came in as a freshman. It was during COVID years, and I had never played volleyball before. All my friends played in middle school, but I played soccer on the soccer team. But you have to play a fall sport as a freshman. So I knew I wanted to play volleyball going into it. I was so nervous. I had never touched a volleyball before, or maybe if I had, it was not a good sight. So I think that was definitely it. I continued it throughout all 4 years of high school. I was a captain my sophomore year and then my senior year on JV and then varsity, which was just an incredible experience. I think the volleyball team has a bond for a sports team that I think is really special. I always feel it every fall. I'm super excited to go back, and all the events that we do, Dig Pink, homecoming, things like that. I think it's just really hard to match and hard to beat.
Oh, such good memories. That's awesome that you had such a good experience with that.
Thank you for talking with me today. It's been great.
Yeah, this is so fun. Thanks for coming over and chit-chatting. This is awesome. I love to talk about North Shore.
Totally. Thank you.